Good morning. Marriage Boot Camp 2019, August 11th, 2019, 223 days deep. We're back from, we're trying to ease our way into this after what happened last week and all the talk about the shootings and the cause of the shootings and the effect of the shootings. Will the shooting continue? Will the shooting stop? We said, we ended last week with "In Elijah Prayed." In Elijah prayed. We turned that story in about Elijah, we turned it into the man of his home, protecting and praying and protecting his home and providing for his home. Right. Lord, Elijah prayed, Lord, open up my servant's eye so that he see that we're not alone. Then I turned it around and said, husband prayed, and Lord, open up my wife's eye so she can see there's more to be with us than they that be with them. The whole thing is about taking care of home first. That's right. Taking care of home first. It's fine. People say, well, Rob, you always talking about people waiting until Sunday. It's fine that you go to church. It's fine that you go and pray. It's fine that you go and do that on a Sunday. But always take care of home first. Go to church and do that. Then come home and take care of home. We got to take care of home more than ever. Hey, Rob, there you go. You already jumping on the dudes about football season. Because if you can spend 2 hours a day on a Sunday, you watch 2 games, that's about 4 hours. Hey, Rob, you always getting on people about line dancing. Hey, Rob, you always getting on people about going to the slot machine. Hey, Rob, you always getting on people about doing this and doing that. Recall and review. There's nothing wrong with that. Long as you're taking care of home. You can't spend 2 or 3 hours a day watching a football game. You can't spend 2 or 3 hours a day watching a basketball game, and you're not putting no time into this. We go dancing. We love to go dancing. We go dancing every weekend. 2 or 3, 4 hours. Sometimes we go dance for 4 hours. We can dance for 4 hours on a Friday night or Saturday night. I'm not saying anything is wrong with going dancing. I'm not saying anything wrong with line dancing. I'm not saying anything wrong with you want to go to the slot machine and put your money in the slot machine and play it up for 2 or 3 hours. I'm not saying anything is wrong with sitting watching football for 2 or 3 hours. Long as you're investing time in this. You can't say this ain't working and you're not putting no time. You're putting your time into everything else. Because with the distractions, they're distractions, and we're so distracted that things that occurred last weekend have been occurring, and if you listen to the news this week, they're going to keep on occurring. Everybody is blaming everybody else. They're going to keep on occurring. I want to play this little short clip for y'all, because I've been saying this because we're distracted. We're so distracted by our phones. Watch people. Watch people when they're walking down the street, their faces in their phone. When they're walking in the store, their faces in their phone. When they're at home, their faces in the phone. When they're out to dinner, a husband and wife can't even talk because their face is in the phone. We're so distracted. I want y'all to listen to this clip. I've been telling y'all this for 2 to 3 years. I've been telling y'all this. Now I need y'all to listen. This is Ricky Smiley. Listen, this is Ricky Smiley on a post that he put on Facebook and Instagram this morning. I want y'all to hear what Ricky Smiley is saying. Play that clip.
On CNN last night, I think it was last night. Oh yeah, it was last night. On white nationalism and white supremacy, Israel. And I'm not trying to ruin anybody's day. I'm not trying to make anybody feel, or whatever. If your pastor at your church,
is
not preparing you for white supremacy or white nationalism, or not speaking out against it, or preparing you for it, you might be at the wrong church. And I'm not even just gonna put it on the pastor, your radio station. I know I talk about it on my morning show. And Lennon Threet and Jeff Johnson and I, we find ways to tell everybody to make people aware of what's going on around them. You know, we can't entertain ourselves to the point where we don't know what's going on around us. With going, I know everybody want to go to Funk Fest and the Magic City Classic and Essence Festival and have a good time, but I just want you to know there's a growing demographic out here that is becoming the minority because people of color are becoming the majority. It's a manifestation of fear that's out here. And, and they're not talking about white supremacy and white nationalism. I don't care what church you go to or whatever. This stuff is not being talked about and not being addressed. And you are in danger. El Paso and Dayton, Ohio, and the stuff that happened at Parkland and all of these mass shootings is just the beginning.
Listen, y'all.
You have not seen anything yet. Donald Trump and the Trump administration has cut by 80% something that Homeland Security oversees. I don't know if it was from Homeland Security or it was from, if I'm not mistaken, from Homeland Security. 80% of that money when they would watch militia groups had been cut. And I'm telling y'all right now, we can sit here on Facebook and we can act like this stuff is not happening. And we can go to Instagram and put up all these funny videos and just entertain ourselves just for the sake of entertainment and enjoy life. Go to the beach and go on vacation. But what I'm telling you today, if your pastor haven't told you, if anybody that you listen to on the radio have not explained to you that white nationalism and white supremacy is real and it's coming. And CNN, thank you, John, it's Homeland Security. CNN laid it out last night. CNN put together a piece last night that I just really want to encourage.
Ricky Smiley is talking about the special CNN did this weekend, The State of Hate. Now, I've been saying for 2 or 3 years, I don't care where you go to church at, if your pastor is not addressing these racial issues that's going on, something is wrong. But I'm going to tell you why he don't want to address the racial issue. I'm going to tell you why these pastors do not want to address the racial issue. Because it's Sunday morning. Today, Sunday morning, right now in the United States, today on a Sunday, when everybody is going to church to worship their Lord and Savior, when everybody going to worship whoever they reverence, whoever they look up to spiritually, whoever their God is, it is the most segregated day of the week. Black people go to their churches, white people go to their churches, Hispanic people go to their churches. Oh, and you got a few churches that multicultural, but when they come together on Sunday, it's still that division there. Because when the white members leave, they go back to their neighborhoods and to their restaurants with the rest of the white members. The black members leave and go to their restaurants and their neighborhoods with the black members, and the Hispanic members leave and go to their Hispanic neighborhoods and go to their Hispanic restaurants with their Hispanic families. Ricky Smiley just said it. I've been telling y'all this for 2 years. If your pastor's not addressing the racial issue, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem because we're so distracted. He always want to talk about how good God is. Well, we need God to solve these racial issues. God is not a racist, but God is racial. Did I say that right? He's racial. He's not a racist. Because even God said, I will go to my own people first. He first went to the Jews. God recognized the different nationalities. God is not a racist. Anybody who serves God can't be a racist. How can you sit there in the pulpit every Sunday morning and see the racial things that's going on and you don't want to address them? Only way you want to address them is just say, pray about it? Wait on God? Leave it in God's hands? No, God has given you power to pray and to seek and take a stand, to move forward. You say you want to be like the people of the Bible. All the original disciples, it cost them their life. We don't need, we say, oh, lay down your life, lay down your, you really don't want to lay down your life. You don't even want to talk about racism. You act like it don't exist. And we deal with it every day. And how can you go to church on Sunday in the past 2 or 3 years with everything that's been happening and we don't even want to address it? But you deal with it every day, in every instant of life. You deal with some sort of racism. Be it racial profiling, they stop you for this. They question you for this. People walking in the neighborhood at a swimming pool, you don't belong here. People getting on a plane, I don't want you to sit next to me because you're not the same skin complexion as me. Just walking by you, cutting in front of you like they don't even see you and don't even say, excuse me. We deal with it every day, but we're so distracted. That's why I say there's nothing wrong with football and basketball and line dancing and whatever you do to have a good time. But then we still got to deal with reality. We're being too distracted. For years, Spike Lee told us, you hear everybody now say, stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. No, first of all, you got to wake up. Spike Lee told us that 25 years ago. Wake up. Before you can stay woke, you got to wake up. And so if you wake up, you'll deal with the issue. You can't act like you don't see them. You can't pray them away. This country been in this state for over 400 years. The slave prayed for freedom. The civil rights movement prayed for civil rights to change. We done went back 200 years. I told y'all a few months ago during the presidential election, I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. I knew what it was like to be called a nigger almost every other day. I know what it's like to get stopped by the police and have a shotgun, and you and your 4 buddies, 14 and 15 years old, laying on the ground with a shotgun to the back of your head and telling you not to move. Do not resist. I know what that's like. And now to see the same old thing, now they'll shoot you for it because they think you got a gun. And your pastor don't want to address that, just pray. You can't pray the racism away. You got to talk about it. You can't, it's not going anywhere. Today, Sunday, I'm going to say this again. Today, Sunday, is the most segregated day of the week. Because when we go to work tomorrow, we work with everybody. Our co-workers are white, our co-workers are black, our co-workers are Hispanic, our co-workers are Filipino, our co-workers are German. Here in Vegas, there's a little bit of everybody everywhere. You can't get away from any other ethnicity. They're everywhere here in Vegas. I think they said it's over 200 different nationalities here in Vegas. You can't get away from it, except on Sunday. You can drive to any part of town. You're going to a church. If in a certain area of town, it's going to be all black members. You're going to a certain part of town, it's going to be all white members. They'll say you're welcome, but when you walk in, you don't feel welcome. And we don't want to address it. Let's just pray. We constantly, especially us as black folks, we just always want to deal with that dangling carrot. Won't he do it? Won't he fix it? Wait on God. Believe in God. Pray it away. Pay a seed offering and watch he change it. Nonsense. Nonsense. I've been hearing this stuff for 30 years. It's straight up nonsense. You heard what Ricky Smiley said this morning as you make your way to church. As you leave church. Have you already heard the word today in church? With everything that's going on, I suggest you look at the state of hate. The state of hate. The state of this US of A. Look at that CNN special. The state of hate. And see what's really going on. And then when you go to church Sunday after Sunday, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, whenever your Bible study, and God has given this man a position. God has given this man an audience. God has given this man a platform to speak about righteousness and truth and justice, and you just want to pray it away? Go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just want to say, I think Robert and I think it's more important than ever for the two becoming one, because there's so much going on and there's so much division that's seems to be going on in the state of our country, that more importantly than ever, it's so important that that a husband or wife come together as one, because we've always said that there's power in unity. So if you can unite and come together and educate yourselves and educate your children and your grandchildren, you have to educate them about what's going on in the country, in the world today. Especially being people of color, because these are different times. They're different times for us. Yes, this has gone on since the 1920s, and as you watch the CNN story, you'll see, it just brings back to memory what we as a people have gone through. But it's so important more than ever that the two become one, and you have to come together and talk about how you as a couple, how you as a family, how you are going to deal with the divisiveness that's currently going on, because we can't continue to ignore it. We have to address it, and we have to be aware. And more importantly, we have to be aware. My husband talked about earlier, we all walk around with our faces in our cell phone. Look up, pay attention, see what's going on. Is something out of line? You have to learn. We know that God hasn't given you a spirit of fear, but he has given you discernment. And we have to start using that. We have to be aware. So put your cell phones down, pay attention, look at what's going on. When you're going places now, Robert and I are out and about a lot. We pay attention to where the exits are. If we're long distance from the bathroom, we'll go together. You have to be aware. You have to be aware, and it's so important. Yesterday, I heard a young man talk about him and his wife, and hers and his. It's yours. And in the situation in the current state of our country, it's us. I'm done. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you for bringing that home, because that's exactly where I wanted to go. Thank you for bringing that home. That's exactly where I was going with this. With all the distractions, with everything that's going on, with all the divisiveness, with all the division, with all the hate, that's why I say, turn off the football game, turn off the basketball game, get off the slot machine, stop all the dancing. Like I'm not saying nothing's wrong with all of that, but you have to make sure home is solid. You got to make sure home is solid, because when everything else starts shaking and falling apart around us, you got to have a safe haven. Yes. Lady Bell brought it home. It all boils back down to what we've been saying: 1 + 1 = 1. 2 is bigger, but it's still 1. 1 1,000, 2 10,000. It all comes back home. No matter what is going on out there, when you can come home to a safe haven, when you know somebody got your back, you don't want to be out there fighting and grinding all day and have to come home and fight and grind. Team Bell, look out for the distractions. Hey, you going to church this morning and that dude ain't dealing with real issues. He just promising you blessings and everything gonna be all right, and it's all in God's hands. No. It's time for us to do something. It's time for us to unify. It's time for us to speak up. It's getting tough out here. Team Bell, 1 + 1 will always be
1.
2 is bigger, but it's still
1.
1 1,000, but 2
10,000.
Gotta be more to be with us than they to be with them. Team Bell, we out.